morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Life is what happens to you while you're making other plans, right? I can't remember when it was I designed and ordered that mug. Must be going on 2 years ago. But at that time, I was 99% sure that I'd be having the Yamato on the table. Now I'm 99% sure I won't. Okay, I've mentioned before, but just in case there's somebody out there that's wondering, why now am I not getting the Yamato? Well, I've concluded that I think it would be a lot of fun, but it would be a lot of frustration. I think it's just maybe too much for me at this stage in the game. Now, let's not deal with the negative, let's deal with the positive. And the positive is this. There are 2 K sprues. And I was just looking at it about 10 minutes ago, I guess, and I do believe, oh no, there's a little piece right here that maybe I was just going to say, once we get all the pieces we need for this step 47, all the plastic parts, this sprue will be completely empty, but I'm noticing there is something here, the number 32, and I don't know what it is. I don't think we need a 32 in this step. So, well, that's kind of too bad. I thought I was going to have 2 more sprues that I could hang on the wall. I'm getting quite a collection over there. Anyway, let's get our plastic parts here. And my intent for today, and I always start off with good intentions, and they sometimes don't work out. But my intent for today is to take one of these larger gangways or ladders and see if we can't put it together. And or it is already together, it's just that it's got to be bent into shape. And then I believe there are at least there's 4 plastic parts that have to get glued onto the piece after we get it bent into shape to form the upper and lower platform. Well, we'll talk about it when we come to it. Anyway, let's recompose here, get our plastic parts, and yesterday's episode was really short, and some of you are probably thinking, gee, that's the shortest one you ever had. But no, there were a lot of really short little episodes way back at the beginning when I was assembling the model table, and I was just giving little updates as to what I did each day. I think it took about a month from the time I started to the time the Bismarck actually was on the table. I think it was approximately a month, but we had a lot of fun. At least I did. Maybe some of the viewers were a little bit frustrated, but anyway, let's recompose here and get all our parts. Yeah, there's actually quite a few of them. Okay, these K39s here, they are the smaller of the platforms. I believe these are the ones that are going to go down on the lower end of the ladder. Okay. Now the larger ones, see if I can turn this around here. The 18s. Now you notice right here and here and here and here, let me get this out of the way, is a little hinge. Now I vaguely remember trying to get the photo etch piece, I believe it was when I was doing the Bismarck. Okay, we got those. And we got to get the same thing off of the other sprue. All right, let's just recompose here. Okay, now these little parts, the K9s, that's not a 6, that's a 9. They are going to be a real bear to put on. And the reason being is I believe it, this part and this part here, like it's hard to find something small enough to point. This thing's so small, but this part and this part actually go up against the side of the hull. This piece here sticks out somehow, and we have to hang a photo etch piece down onto it, which represents the suspension part of the. Anyway, I don't know I got to make it so it's strong enough that it'll support the weight. Anyway, all right, so we've got them now. I'll just get the ones off the other screw. But while we're here, I wanted to show you something. Well, maybe first we'll get these here. There's 4 17s, and we on each sprue, and we need all 8 of them. So maybe I'll just quickly grab those. Must be something on my clipper here because its stuff is sticking to it. Now where did that other one go? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So we got all our pieces there. Just let me clean up this mess here. Okay. Remember a few minutes ago I was talking about the K32, and I didn't know what it was. Well, I still don't know what it is. The reason being is I paged ahead in the manual to see, where do we actually need this? And I was thinking maybe nip it off and put it in a test tube. Okay, and then I noticed there is another piece. Let's see if I can find it here now. Yeah, here we go. It's way over here. Okay, number 30. Okay, those are the only 2 pieces left on the K sprue now. I don't think I missed anything. And I couldn't find this one either. And I'm just wondering if possibly these pieces are needed on the Missouri kit. Yeah, it could be. Either that or maybe I missed this. I was supposed to put these on somewhere, and I missed it. So if anybody knows for sure, please in the comments below. Now on one of these K sprues, I found these 4 number 10s. I have a faint recollection of using these previously because the other sprue has the 4 nipped off. So once again, am I going to come to these later, or were these something for the Missouri? Okay, here's the thing. A lot of these parts, like this one right here that I haven't cleaned up yet, when I mount them on the ship, they go right on the side of the hull. Okay, in other words, if this is the hull, it goes like this, but it's going to want to fall off. Now, what I'm thinking here is, if I could turn this on its side, we're going to move Gabe's beautifully made figures here very carefully. And our 1/200 scale sailors. And by the way, Gabe, I know you were cringing at the fact that I used the macro lens, and I apologize for that. I shouldn't have done that. Everybody except you thinks they're great. Well, I think deep down inside you know they're great too. But yeah, I know how it is. I remember you sat down here at the model table, and before we started rolling the camera, you were looking at the model and you said, "Look at all the detail." Well, I look at it and I think, look at all the mistakes. We are our own worst critics. Yeah, these things are just fantastic. I shouldn't be picking it up by the head. I mean, how would I like it if somebody grabbed me by the head and picked me up? Okay, let's put this down here carefully somewhere. I gotta rearrange my mess over here. Oh, not by the head. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. So what I was starting to say was, okay, I think I got everything off of there that's loose now. If I could turn this over completely on its side, 90 degrees over, then I could drop these little parts down onto the sides, and they would have a tendency to stay on there a lot better. And but I'm thinking that the way this dry dock is designed here, the whole thing might shift over about a centimeter, which might be enough to break our 20 millimeter gun off here, or something like that. And it would have a tendency to want to roll out of its cradle. And so what I'm thinking is, if I was to, at first I was thinking, well, I could take and I could put a dowel right down on the side like that, and it would, it would hold in on the side right here, and the same on the stern. That would work. That would keep it from moving over. And then afterwards I thought, well, no, we've already got these things here. They're pretty strong. So what I could do is take with my hot glue gun and just put a little piece of wood from here up against the side right here, like that. And the same at the stern. I know you can't see back there very good, but there is actually a place just below the gun mount where I could do the same thing. Then I could very, very carefully turn this over on its side and not worry about the whole thing dumping out. Because that would be a catastrophe for this delicate stuff up here. If something like that ever happened, I was watching Steve in the model shed, and on his latest episode on the Bismarck, and he was talking about accidentally dropping the camera on the ship or something like that. And in his case, I think if I was him, I'd probably commit suicide, because he has done such a marvelous job on that. As a lot of you know, he's going to be entering it in that exhibition in the UK on November the 11th, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it, probably because I'll never get to go to it anyway. But yeah, so it's so easy to accidentally damage these things, and if a person did, what I wouldn't quit. I'd try and repair it, but I sure don't want that to happen. Oh, another thing, Steve was mentioning about camera placement and how it's really difficult to get the camera just right, and so on, so that you're not going to damage your ship and yet still be able to work on it. And for those of you who have never videoed something like this, you'll often hear me say, I can't see, the camera's in my way. Well, that's because the camera's generally right here, and it's looking right here, and it's generally blocking one eye, so I can't get perception of depth, and it makes it look a lot more clumsy than it actually is. So I can really sympathize with what Steve was saying there. By the way, you're doing a great job, Steve. Great job. Anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, let's find some little pieces of wood here. I only need 4, one for each side, and glue them on the top and come across. Maybe I'll put a little piece of padding or something on the end of the wood. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that off camera, and the next thing you'll see me doing is cranking up the hot glue gun. Guess I don't need that much. All right, now don't wait too long here, or you're gonna have a hard piece of glue on the wood there. All right, that should work. I'll do the same on this side. Put it right there. Don't want to fill in these holes either, because probably going to use them maybe later for okay. Now when that dries, hardens. Okay, now that should keep our bow. Now let's go do the same thing on the stern. Okay, this is glued in. That's not going to fall out. But these catapults are just sitting loose in there. And I'm wondering if maybe what I should do, well, mind you, if I can't pull them out, I guess they're not going to fall out, are they? No, they're in there pretty good. Okay, I don't need to worry about them. And the idea will be to glue something like this right on the side, right there. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about it breaking off this fair lead or whatever it is. Okay, so we're gonna, we'll put a little bit of glue on my part right there where my thumb is. Okay. I always say a little bit and then I just gob it on, don't I? Story of my life. Now I want it to be a fairly snug fit. I don't want the hull to be rattling around in this thing. Okay, just give it a little bit of pressure, I suppose. This is going to be dried by the time I get this on here. There we go. That'll help. Okay, I'm going to get another clamp ready for this other side here. Alright, we are ready to go. And maybe this one could go like this, it would work better. Maybe have it just a little bit above the gunnel so that it kind of bites down into it. At least that's my thinking at the moment here. Okay, whoop, I got some on the green cloth. There. All right. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Time is marching on here. It's almost noon, and I haven't even done anything on our little ladder that I said we were going to do several hours ago now. All right, let's try this. This is going to be the first time. Make some room here. Is this going to be a disaster? I don't think there is anything loose on the deck right now that's going to damage if it falls off. And here we go. Now, it may slide just a tiny bit, like a couple of millimeters, or even not even that, as it comes up against the bumpers. Yeah, we'll call them bumpers. Here we go. I suppose I should really watch what's going on here. I wonder if I should hang on to it a little bit right here. Yeah. Okay, now the idea is I can put something on the side and it's going to want to stand there all by itself. And I can well imagine that if I tip it over the other way, it's going to work just as well. So, okay. You know what? I have not done any editing yet. I don't even know if my coffee clunk turned out. I'm sure it did. It always does. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's move on here. I'm gonna go do some editing, and if there's time, we'll try and bend a ladder. We'll see how it goes. It sometimes takes me up to 2 hours to edit out a bunch of footage, because I try to manipulate everything just right, and I do a lot of experimenting that doesn't work. Okay, let's go at it. Okay. Now, as far as I can tell, we have all the pieces necessary to make up one of these ladders. As you can see, there's a lot to it, as well as getting this large part bent in the right direction and all the treads bent at the right angle. Now, this part right here, these two pieces right here, I believe they are some sort of uprights that go on the bottom here, and the idea would be that the boat would bump into them. At least I think that's what the idea is. And what is supposed to happen here is we want to try and take this off like this. Now, I don't know if I dare. Where's my... Well, actually, it's Chris's file. Okay, take one of Chris's file here. Try and get rid of the worst of the burrs, but on the other hand, I might be better off just sort of leaving it. And you'll notice on... Let's see if I can turn this over here. Okay, you notice here there's a little tiny peg of some kind, and I don't know how it's supposed to fit yet into this, but I imagine it's supposed to go somewhere. I guess we'll figure it out when we, try to glue the parts together. I don't know if this piece will fit in Andy's photo etch bender properly or not. This might be the sort of thing that would actually be safer to do, to bend using the large Tamiya bending plier. Okay, now then we got this piece here. Let me get it down here where you can see. Gotta try and get that piece of flashing off of the come in at an angle like this. Get this out of the way. Let's see here. You know, it's fun for me to try and do stuff on camera. I know I could do it better off camera, but this is a lot more fun. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, now this is the piece that we're going to try and stand it up on its edge, something like on the side of the hull. Okay, it's going to go something like this, and it's going to want to sort of stay there. Well, it's got a little bit of glue on it. And then this piece here, we have to try and get, well, that's not going to go over. I can see right now this is way too big. That's not going to fit over that. I'll worry about that. You know what? I think we're going to worry about that tomorrow. Yeah, I think we'll worry about that tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.